Hi, I'm Jean Shadelholm, and this is my creative critical reflection for my opening scene called Inner Turmoil. I had one team member named Desiree Gilzine, and we both contributed equally to completing the opening scene. I really enjoyed working with her. Inner Turmoil is a coming-of-age film slash psychological drama that was mostly shot using POV shots to allow the viewer to feel as though they are the protagonist for a day and to experience all her emotions with her. So that being said, we want the viewer to feel as though they are going through all the emotions that Stella, which is our protagonist, is going through. For conventions, our film challenged most of all the conventions that fit in a coming of age drama, such as typical conventions, such as the protagonist being a white male or female that is in the middle or upper class, opposed to our protagonist, which is a black woman in the lower class. But we did comply with other conventions, such as displaying real life situations, making a portion of the film about conflict, showing the development of the character being Stella, and providing a touching feeling to the audience or, touching the audience heart. You know what I'm saying? When it came to representation, we decided to go against the typical representations of teens, such as them being rebels, rude, reckless, and disrespectful, by making our protagonist a kind, reliable, and doesn't like taking her emotions out on others type of person. Cheerful interactions. We included these scenes to contrast her inner persona. She was seemingly bubbly and happy while around others. We used high key lighting and upbeat background music to create this meaning. Okay, so this is a picture from one of our scenes, which we mostly begin most of our POV shots with Stella being on her phone, not only for continuity, but to tell the viewer that although she interacts with others, she mostly uses her phone as an escape from her reality, meaning it's like her safe place, her safe haven, somewhere she can confide in, somewhere she can feel as though she's not living the life that she's actually living. The change of mood. We utilize lighting and sound a lot to create the overall mood of these two scenes, specifically the hand one and the scene of us showing the protagonist's face, and it is of her crying. The dim lighting was used to give off a sad, down feeling. Her dark shirt was also used to show a dark, melancholy mood. We used sad music that gradually got louder as she began crying louder to build up these scenes. We wanted to make these scenes build up to being sadder and sadder and sadder, and just building up till we just ended our scene as so. Film choices. For our production company, we decided to choose Summit Entertainment as our production company for many reasons. First off, it is an indie production company, meaning it is an independent production company, which we knew was what we wanted when we first started writing our film and planning because of the creative freedom and the likelihood of success. We also chose it because it produced a film in our same genre, that being Perks of a Wallflower, and made it a hit in the entertainment department. Distributing. We concluded that streaming services for distribution was the best choice to make because of teens, which were our target audience, and they are the most probable consumers of entertainment put out on streaming services such as Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, Disney Plus, etc. Exhibition and marketing. We chose to market our film through social media trailers and social media. I tried there too. Posters, since they've proven to be more effective for our type of drama, that being a coming of age slash psychological drama. Our target audience is teens and young adults that are going through challenges and mental health problems alone. They are also the target audience because they are the likable consumers of films distributed on streaming platforms. Not only that, but we wanted to make our film as a relatable and touching story that if a teen going through similar things or a young adult going through similar things, they would be able to relate to it and be able to confide in it to know that they are not alone. Film production. Comparison then versus now. Then, before we did research on media studies and filmmaking, I had no knowledge of filmmaking and media studies. I had no clue how to edit. I was unable to correctly utilize sound, editing, mise en scene, and cinematography to create meaning. Now I have advanced knowledge of filmmaking and media studies, great understanding of how to edit and how to portray meaning through my editing, able to successfully apply sound editing, mise en scene, and cinematography to convey my emotion or meaning. Beginning, middle, and end. In the beginning, we started off by researching key concepts in media studies and filmmaking, understand what those key concepts meant, and more. In the middle, we wanted to understand conventions of genres and their importance in film, such as rom-coms, sci-fis, and conventions that make those genres. Conventions that make a rom-com a rom-com, but conventions that make a sci-fi. Towards the end, we were improving our editing skills and applying sound editing, mise en scene, and cinematography to our final project. Not only that, but we were applying every key concept that we learned, every convention that we learned, all that to create our final project and our final opening scene and to create it successfully. Planning and drafting. Our planning and drafting composed of creating a script. While creating this script, we went mostly off our short story that we wrote. It was about 3 to 4 chapters of a short story, and then we continued on to making our storyboard to match our script. It was just based off how we wanted to look, based off the dialogue and what the people were saying. Lastly, we had to make our shooting schedule. We had to schedule our shooting so we can make sure to stay organized and on time with our filming and production to complete the assignment on time. Shooting and revision. During shooting and revision, we had to reshoot many shots to make sure they were the best they could be. By that, as we got into the editing portion of our filmmaking, we realized some shots just weren't abiding by conventions that we wanted them to abide by. So we decided to refill them to the best of our abilities to make sure they were abiding by them conventions and showing meaning through what we were filming. Editing. Editing was considered a huge part because we thoroughly thought about ways we could properly convey the theme and meaning, making sure to add conventional transitions, doing all this through WeVideo. This shows our audio tracks that we utilized. It also shows our media, how we were able to put our media in a folder of our production company, stock audio that we use. For example, a crying sound, because we couldn't make it on our own. We couldn't make artificial crying sounds, so we decided to use stock audio, video and audio, where we laid our tracks and all that. Sound. Sound played a major part in getting our point across in most of the scenes. For example, when transitioning from the cheerful interactions to what some may say her depressive episode, we used background music to emphasize the drastic change in mood, such as we went from cheerful, happy, upbeat music to melancholy, sad, tragic music to show that at first she seemed happy. She seemed really ecstatic when she was with other people. She seemed really interactive. And as she got home and she was alone, her mood changed completely and she was sad and showing her true emotions. Equipment and technology. To film, we use an iPhone XR camera for the good quality, and for editing, we used WeVideo. Through all this research of our technology and our editing, we were able to better edit and to edit more efficiently and to be able to get our point across through our editing. Settings. We filmed in many different places. We filmed outside of Stella's house. We filmed in Stella's bathroom. We filmed in the school's classroom. We filmed in the school's hallways. And we filmed in a nearby park. Reflection and conclusion. The first picture shows one of our first editing projects, which was our holiday or seasonal music video. It lacked conventions and meaning. Like every shot was just a shot to be a shot. There was no thought put into it on how we can convey meaning through it. And the second picture shows cinematography and me displaying how much I've improved. So as you can see, we used a medium shot to focus on her upper body, such as her face, her facial expression, the way she's composed. You can see that she is looking at herself. Her clothes are dark. The lighting is dark. Her facial expression, her eyes are expressing sadness and all that stuff. We were able to, as you see, gradually improve on how to show meaning and how to properly film it.